Hey guys, this is going to be a video about my knife collection. I'm going to make it really quick. I'm just going to show you the knife, tell you why I like it, where I bought it, and move on. Okay, so I'll start with my Spydercos. That's my favorite company. Here is the Paramilitary 2. This is probably my favorite overall Spyderco knife. It's just perfect, really. I'll have a review out on this, and it's just perfect for EDC, perfect for tactical. It's got the compression lock there on it, which is very special. S30V, so just a great knife. Next I'll do the Manix 2, regular S30V. I like this knife. It's a good solid knife, and if I had never owned another Spyderco first, I probably would absolutely love this knife. But based on some of the other options that I've had, it's not my favorite Spyderco, that's for sure. I find the lock a little sticky on mine to use. It opens super fast, but the lock stickiness and also the heaviness due to the full steel liners inside just makes this not exactly my favorite knife, but it's still a good knife for sure. Next I have the Endura FFG in the blue handle. Love this knife. Endura is perfect. If you've never owned one before, I definitely recommend it. I bought this after owning a lot of other Spydercos, and it's perfect, really. If I had to give up all my Spydercos, you know, I don't know if this is the one I would choose. Maybe I would go for the Para, but this one is outstanding. It's just as good as any of the others, for sure, and it's a lot higher value than quite a lot of knives out there. Okay, so this is not technically a Spyderco, but I guess it is, technically. It's the BirdCaracara 2, and this, although it is produced in China and it's very cheap, you know, it is a great knife, really. I carried this in Mexico with me for the better part of 5 months. I had this and the Tenacious, and both of them served me very well. No failures, you know, it's still as good as the day that I bought it, really. And it's a user knife too. It's one of those ones that you can just kind of beat up and not really care too much what happens. But it took everything that I had to throw at it. You know, I know some people don't like the bird hole. I don't care at all. It opens super fast. And this is every bit as good as an Endura. People say it's like a poor man's Endura, but it's just as good. And also it's got that extra finger choil here so you can choke up. I actually haven't carried this blade for a while, and I'm kind of wishing that I would. So maybe I'll put that back in the rotation. I have the Sage 1, and this is a beautiful knife. Perfect EDC knife, without a doubt. You know, it's just one member of the series. You know, there's the other ones with the different handles and different locks. This is the one I chose just because I love liner locks, for one thing. I thought that the carbon fiber looked pretty sweet on it. I think this was my first S30V blade, actually, and I wasn't disappointed at all. It's got that extra choil there so you can choke up. It feels good in pretty much any grip you could put it into. Despite the fact that this is made in Taiwan, the quality is just outstanding. The smoothest knife I've ever felt. It's got a great lockup. You can hear there's a double click. I'll be quiet now so you can hear it. That wasn't very good. Yeah, so it's got a very satisfying lockup sound, and yeah, just a beautiful knife. Now I have the Delica. This is actually what I was carrying today. Perfect knife as well. I know I'm saying perfect a lot, but I really like Spyderco. So this is just EDC personified. It's light, it's like 2 point something ounces, 2.5, something like that. It's strong, it's got a great blade steel. You can choose whatever handle color you want along with the Endura over there. They come in like 6 or 7 different handle colors. So they're just amazing knives, really. So that is my Spyderco collection. Spyderco is definitely my favorite company overall. They're just outstanding. I love a lot of their designs. I don't go for like the more kind of funky stuff that they make, all those kind of ethnic blades and all that stuff. I'm more for just like the user sort of EDC stuff, but it's all great. I've handled some other Spydercos and I love them. It's addictive. So yeah, I don't need any more knives right now, but there's a lot more I would like to have. Okay, so now we're going to get into some other manufacturers. SOG Flash 2. This is a great knife also. I'm a huge fan of this. I've had some bad luck with assisted opening knives, and So far this one has been pretty good. I've cut myself on it a few times actually, just because when you're trying to close the blade one-handed, sometimes you can slip and then boom, you get cut. But for the most part it's pretty good. It's got that safety lock on there, which I never use. It's got the arc lock. Don't really have a strong opinion about that either way. I guess it sort of more or less resembles an axis lock, or also the caged ball lock on the Manix too. But it feels kind of flimsy, honestly. Like it's just very like imprecise in terms of it just kind of moves around all over the place, and I don't know. Not my favorite lock, definitely. But overall the knife is great. It's super light, no steel liners inside, and yeah, it's just been good so far. Pocket clip is pretty sweet on that as well. I've heard some stories about those getting bent, but if you want a deep carry knife, this is your knife. Okay, so what else? I have the Kershaw Zing stainless steel. This is one of the few knives I'm able to operate super fast with the thumb studs. Thumb studs are my least favorite method for deploying knives, really. But on this blade you got the option between thumb studs and the flipper. Both are really good, super fast. I got this as a warranty replacement actually for the Kershaw Cryo, which technically would be a member of my collection, except it broke. So I sent it back, and I was asking for the Zing, and here's what I was hoping they would send me. Here's the nice one. And they did not send me this. This is borrowed actually. But I got the stainless steel Zing, and I never carry this knife because I hate stainless steel handles, as I've learned, and I'll tell you more about that with my next knife that I'll show you. Okay, so the next one is the CRKT Drifter. Not a fan of this knife, really. I like it better than the one I was just holding, actually. I like it better than the Zing. But it's basically the same thing. It's like a stainless steel frame lock. It's a cheap knife. I don't know where this is made, but I would assume it's made in China or something like that. It doesn't even have the blade steel on there, so it's I wish I had the G10 version of this. I think I would like that a little better. But honestly, I know people are always saying that, oh, small blades are good for EDC, but personally I prefer something along the lines of the Endura. I like that, 3-inch plus blade. Blades that are smaller than that, I don't know, they just don't really do it for me. And it's not really the blade that's the problem, it's the handle. I find if the handle doesn't extend past the base of my hand, then I don't have enough to grip onto. It's like you don't want to do a lot of work with that. In fact, you don't want to use it at all, really. It needs to fill the hand. And I'll use the bird here as an example. So you see this fills my hand. You can grip it, you got something good to hang on to. With that, it's like, I don't know, it's slipping and sliding around, no traction, too small. Not a fan. Learning experience. Here's another Kershaw. It's the Skyline. Love this knife. And here you go. There's an example of a knife that sort of more or less fills the hand. It's still a small and light knife, but you can see that the tip of it basically comes down to the edge of my hand. And I don't have huge hands. Like, I'm not a big guy or anything like that. One thing I don't like about this knife is I can't use the thumb studs on it. I just find that they're recessed too deeply into the handle there, so they're pretty much useless for me anyways. But the flipper works really well. It's got a good blade steel. The grind is amazing. This is pretty much a perfect EDC knife as well. I would put it basically on par with the Delica. Definitely one of Kershaw's best knives, although they do have a lot. Before I move on from Kershaw, which I'm kind of jumping everywhere, but I did have Kershaw Chill at one point, and that was a good knife too. I sold that, and I don't know why really, but I was never carrying it. At the end of the day, if you're not carrying the knife, it's pretty much useless to you. So these two knives I would actually like to get rid of. I've been trying to sell them for some time, but just nobody's interested really where I am. Okay, so last folder, I believe. There may be another knife hanging around somewhere that I just don't know where it is, but anyways, this is the Opinel number, you know what, I can't remember what number this is. Oh, number 8, there you go. So I bought this as sort of an experiment, really, and you can see the locking mechanism. You kind of twist it like that. I don't know why I bought this, honestly. I was just trying something different. I was coming back from Mexico. I finally got back to Canada. I was able to buy knives again. I was at a store and they had Opinels, and I was like, oh, I'll give it a try, And I did. I carried it for maybe a day or two, but you can't open it one-handed. It's more of like a sort of, I don't know. I think that like the French, like sort of peasants, I don't want to call them that, but you know, like the working class in France, this is sort of like their knife of choice, and it's very historical. I guess it's been around for a long time. This is carbon steel. I think this was my first knife in carbon steel, actually. And yeah, I don't know, it's okay. Never carry it, just part of the collection. Okay, so now let's move on to the fixed blades. I only have 4 fixed blades, and I'll show you. Okay, first one is the Mora. This is a Mora, what's it called? They call it the Mora Scout, NR440. I don't really think it matters what they call it. It's just a Mora knife, you know, it's a plastic handle. It's got the Scandi grind on there that's like amazingly sharp, by the way. Yeah, it's a great knife, actually. I've used this a little bit in the bush, just doing some... I actually did some batoning with this knife, and it did pretty well. Mora knives, those are not... They're not stylistic knives, you know, like they don't look cool. This does not look cool at all. But in terms of cutting performance, they're absolutely outstanding, and you really have to try one to truly appreciate them. You know, here's the sheath that came with it. It's nothing special at all. It does have a loop there for you to put on your belt, and it's got like a strap here to retain it. It's functional, but it's definitely not cool. I'll never say that. Okay, so another Mora knife. This one is carbon steel, and the sheath on this is better for sure. You see it kind of could like loop over your belt or whatever right there. So it's a better design, I would say. And the knife feels like a little higher quality. This is the carbon steel. And yeah, this one's pretty cool. Actually, as I got back from doing some camping, I wash all my knives when I come back from camping, and I usually resharpen and oil them too if they're carbon steel. But I washed this, and I leaned it up against the edge of something on an angle to dry, because I didn't want to leave the blade surface in contact with anything really, for that matter. But anyways, I did by accident, and it just little spots there. And I haven't taken like the steel wool to it or anything like that. No big deal. But I understand that you can see that there is like a little bit of staining actually on the blade there. I don't know if you can see it well, but yeah, carbon steel blades, they do get little spots on them, and they tell their story. So I don't know if that's cool or what, but it's just something to take into consideration. Now I've got the Gerber Big Rock. The sheath on this knife sucks. And I actually took the handle off, so it's barely recognizable now. I did kind of a ghetto job with the paracord wrap. I was bored one day, so this was kind of an experiment more or less, but you know, it's functional, it does work. You can kind of put the paracord around your wrist and grip the knife. You know, I wouldn't want to do a ton of work with this because I don't know, I couldn't figure out how to wrap it at the top there. I don't know, there's probably a lot of people who are much better at that than I am, but yeah, this blade is not bad. I think it's like a 440 steel or something like that, and this only cost me like $30-something, and it's pretty good actually. For you can do food prep with this. Like, it's all brown and kind of messed up because I scraped a whole bunch of fire steel on it one day. I was just kind of like playing around, and I think I used it to start some fires actually when I was camping as well. And it's a good all-around knife. Like, if you don't want to spend a lot of money on like a fixed blade and you just kind of want to get started, you know, this is a great way to go. I think this is like $30 or $35, something like that. And also I have like, it's a lot easier for us to justify buying a folding knife because we use it around the city on sort of like a semi-daily basis. So you can definitely see yourself using a folder much more often than a fixed blade, which we would typically only use when we go camping. And how often do we really go camping, if we're being honest? I've been like 5 nights so far this year, I think, and I'm gonna go this weekend actually again. But you know, as much as I love being outdoors, it's hard when you're working, when you live in the middle of the city. Anyways, long story short, last fixed blade is the BK2. The sheath on this is pretty badass. I really like the sheath. The knife is kind of beat up because I've done a lot of batoning with it, and it really performs well. I found sort of variable performance when I've been batoning. It really depends on the wood more than the knife in my experience, because I've seen this knife perform radically differently depending on which type of wood I was batoning. If the wood has any moisture in it, it's a lot harder to baton it, I found. If it's dry, if it's good wood, basically this thing is so thick, it's like a wedge, it just splits it. So you don't even have to knock this down all the way through the wood. You basically have to just get it in all the way, you know, to the top of the blade and basically just pull the wood apart, I found anyways, with certain types of wood. So yeah, that is my knife collection. What can I say about knife collecting in general? Or, you know, before I get to that, what else have I had? I had a Rat 1, partially serrated. I have another Rat here, which is not mine, so it's not part of the collection technically. But this is plain edge, and I do like that. But yeah, I just never carried it. I don't know why I bought a combo edge. Well, I guess I do know why, because the store I bought it that day, that's all they had. They didn't have the plain edge, and I wanted the knife, so I just bought it. But I'm not a fan of partially serrated blades at all. I just think they're like a terrible compromise, and you really don't get good performance either way. So I did have the Rat 1. I had the Kershaw Cryo, which broke on me. I also had the SOG Blink, which I picked up because it was on sale. I made another video about that. And that knife was a piece of junk. It broke after like 24 hours of use. And no, I wasn't even, all I did was cut some cardboard, cut some paper. I tried to move the pocket clip. I tried to like adjust the pivot a little bit to make it easier to open. And both the pocket clip and the pivot broke with just like minor adjustments. And, you know, I'm not an idiot. I've adjusted a lot of knives before. And, you know, anyways, I sent it back to SOG. And they've gotten back to me, and they're going to be sending me a Flash 1, which I'm looking forward to because I really do like the Flash 2. So that's my knife collection for now. I don't plan on buying any knives in the near future. Maybe one or two here or there, but by and large, as you can see, I have a lot of knives. Not as many as some, but more than enough that I can use on a daily or weekly basis. Thanks for watching.